Hi, I'm Eddie Huff, and I'm here today with Markwayne and Christy Mullin, and they have a big announcement to make today. Markwayne, Christy, hi, and thank you so much for inviting me to partake in this announcement you're making today. Markwayne, a year ago, you made a big splash, I'd say, caused kind of a firestorm when you refused to announce whether or not you would honor your term limits commitment.
Right.
And here we are a little over a year later, and I think you and your wife are ready to make that announcement.
Right. We were really praying about it, and I think her and I, we started off with we're not going to run again. I mean, we said what we said, and we're going to serve 6 years and be done. But we never felt like we got a release from it. We just wasn't comfortable with that decision.
No. And I would say a year ago when it was a big issue, we truly did not know. I would say up till a month ago, we truly did not know. We never had a piece about
2 weeks ago.
One way or the other. And I will say we have not stopped praying about it. And just what would be best for the District 2, Oklahoma's District 2, and for our family and for our team and our everybody that is part of the 2nd Congressional District.
Going through the process, Christy and I, we were both sitting there having our devotion one morning. Literally at the same time, we looked at each other and we said, we're running again. And immediately we understand that people are going to be upset. And we get that. We understand it. I'm not hiding from that. Because we did say we were going to serve 6 years. And it was out of true concerns. It was out of concerns. One, we didn't understand politics. If people remember, the first time I ever went to a political event was when I stood up and said that I'm running for Congress. I wasn't political. I was building our businesses. And we had true concerns. I mean, as a business owner, we had true concerns about what's going to happen to our business during the time that we're gone and what's going to happen to our family.
Yeah, I would say that when we were running the first time, or even considering running for Congress, we were scared. I mean, everybody it was worst case scenario, like, why would you run for Congress? Your family's going to fall apart. Your business,
all these stories about members of your family.
Yeah, your business is going to just crumble. And for us, that was a big concern because obviously our family is. We never want to do anything that would cause our family to fail, and we were worried about our marriage. Like, will our marriage be able to sustain? We thought we can do anything for 6 years. We can hunker down. We can make it work. I mean, our kids were like, we can do this. And so we truly felt like we would serve 6 years and have to come back and patch together our family, like pick our business up. I can say our family is amazing. The kids are not just like doing okay. They are doing great. We've learned to work as a family. Markwayne keeps us extremely involved in his position in Congress, and so the kids are up there. They get to spend time up there. They know what he does. And in fact, when we talk to them, because it's a family decision, it's not just Markwayne makes a decision or I make a decision, it's a family decision. And our kids said, Dad, yes, you have to run again.
So your decision is that you will seek re-election in 2018.
Yeah, our process was, can we make a difference? That was a question that both of us was going to ask. This, as we've said, this isn't our career, but it's an honor. It's an honor to serve, and I don't want to be up there just occupying a seat. So the question that we asked ourselves, and that we were praying about, and even asked, our friends and our family that's around us, can we make a difference? Because the last 4 years, Eddie, it was like we were just beating our head against the wall. I mean, working with the Obama administration was so frustrating because you couldn't get anybody to call you back. You couldn't get the administration or any of the bureaucrats and any of the places of these regulatory agencies to even have a conversation with you. And so it felt like all we were doing was just barring the door. So we go back to the question, can we make a difference? And I've seen such a turnaround with the new administration, with President Trump, that when we came to the conclusion, the answer was yes. Yes, we can make a difference. And yes, it's important for Oklahoma to have people in position to be able to make a difference. The only way we can do that is to make sure that we have people in key places. And the first lesson I learned up there is you got to build relationships. Because just because it's my idea doesn't mean anything if I can't get 217 other people to agree with me just on the House floor. Not to mention, that's just half the battle. Now you got to get it passed through the Senate. And then once you get it passed through the Senate, you got to be able to get it on the President's desk to sign it into law, right? So being in those positions to make those differences is what's valuable for Oklahoma, and that's one of the questions too. Can you make a difference? You have to be able to have the respect of your colleagues, regardless of where you're at, if you're going to be able to influence the outcome. It's not power. It's not about a position. It's about effectively making a difference through having the relationships to influence the end outcome.
Now, I think you understand you're going to be facing a circular firing squad.
Sure.
You got the Democrats on this side, Republicans over here.
Sure.
One is going to be calling you liar, traitor, etc.
Oh,
and
right.
Democrats, of course, want that seat because they want to take Congress back.
Right.
Are you ready for that fight?
The easiest decision in this whole thing, honestly, would to get out. Because we understand that. But I have complete peace by it because I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I hope people will just understand. All of us have made decisions that were completely different 6 years prior to that. It's growth. We all approach things different, and all of us are growing, and all of us are changing. And I don't think there's one person that's never changed their mind 6 years apart from each other or how they would approach things. So hopefully people will just give us an opportunity to visit with them before they just go off and start accusing us of all this.
I can see right now there's people, atheists, even some Christians who will say, oh yeah, blame God. You bring God into it. You're trying to get God to justify your own ego, that this is something you really want to do, and you just say, well, God told me to do it, or I think God wants me to do this. How do you respond to that?
I've had employees come up to me before and say, God told me to quit. I've also had people come up to me and say, God told me to come talk to you because you were going to donate $20,000. I've said, well, God didn't talk to me. I didn't hear that.
Did God tell you that? Did God tell you to marry him, or did He tell you that?
I convinced her to do that.
That was a process.
Yeah. Well, actually, I didn't get saved until after we got married. But you know, the peace inside that you've got to pray about, you got to be comfortable with yourself. You got to be comfortable with your decisions you make. Because I think once you make a decision, if you know you're making it for the right reason, and that's where my faith comes from, that's where the prayer comes from, that's where I'm always seeking guidance, but ultimately we have to make that decision. And once you make that decision, you're confident that you're doing it for the right reason. And that's where my Christian faith, that's where I lean on the Lord to make sure, okay, is there any ego in here? Is there pride? Because pride comes before the fall. What is it how am I making these decisions? If I'm making all these decisions for the right reason, and I have peace by it, then I don't have to look back. I just got to move forward. But I've got to be able to listen to other people's concerns too.
I will say that we are not running because God told us to run. Because, in fact, we wanted Him to tell us that. Like, we wanted Him to say yes or no. And He never did, but He put all the things in front of us to where we actually made the decision.
Right.
I feel like we made the decision based on the information, the place we were at in life, the place that we've been put. So I don't want people to think that we're saying God told us to do this, because
we saw
I
a
will
burning
say,
bush or
yeah,
anything
I
like
will
that.
say that is not the case. So we don't want to guilt people into, getting behind Him and supporting Him on this decision because God told us. Because honestly, that is not the truth. We do feel like we made the decision, that we feel confident in what the Lord put in front of us. But that's just between He and I, and we don't expect people to support us for that reason alone. Like he said, we want to be able to earn that support, earn that trust again, and we don't want to not own that. We own that, and we completely understand where people will be concerned, and we're kind of, unfortunately, prepared for it.
Finally, I'd like to give you one more opportunity just to share with the people of the 2nd District, the entire state of Oklahoma, and America even, why you believe that this decision is the right decision in spite of the commitment you made 6 years ago?
I hope people understand and hope they can see too. I've grown a lot in this. I hope people can see growth. I've grown a lot. Chrissy and I just had our 20th wedding anniversary, and it probably took me 10 years to figure out how to be a good husband.
Yeah, we do not have the same marriage we did when we were 18 and 19.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to say we have really, I mean, truly, where we're at 20 years later, it's been a process. And I will say that with this.
It has. It's been a process, and I hope people can see that I'm going to continue to make mistakes. Unfortunately, in the path that we're down right now, when I make a mistake, it's more open. People see it. But I hope that people can also understand that I'm going to learn from those, and I'm going to continue to learn from those, and we're going to continue to be more effective at serving Oklahoma, because it is our responsibility, because people gave us this responsibility, and we take it very serious. So it comes back to, can we make a difference? Yes, and that's why we're running again.